All right. Hey, music producers and sound designers, welcome back to the stream. Tonight, we're going to be diving into Reactor, diving into some sound design, and I am going to be breaking down how to build a bass sound in Reactor. So, we've done a couple episodes like this in the past, but each time we do a different sound that we're going to be working on. So, we're going to try to make this sound a bit different from the last bass sound we created. Let's dive right in. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up Reactor. We've got our version of Reactor open here. I brought in the basic modules we need to start this off. That's going to be a oscillator, and I'm going to change it to a saw wave. So now that we got our saw wave, I'm going to go in and connect us to a VCA and to our output ports. So once we got that going, we should be having some sound. So as you can hear, we have some sound coming out of it. And I'm gonna, just so we can visualize that sound, I'm going to attach a scope. So scope goes right there. And let's see. So you can visualize that waveform by viewing the scope. Now we want to shape this sound a little bit more. So we're gonna add on an ADSR filter, ADSR envelope, attack, decay, sustain, and release, which allows us to control our sound over time as it's being played. So I'm going to activate that. Rather than being on all the time, when I hit a key, it's going to activate the amp to turn on. And there we go. We got our bass sound. I think that's sounding pretty cool. Let's add a little modulation to our bass sound. Let's make it move. So how are we going to do that? We're going to add some modulation depth to our actual oscillator that we have here. And that's going to make it move. We can go either direction. That's a little bit intense. So I'm going to make a little bit of movement in the actual waveform. Zero. Just slightly moving. And then we can turn down this, make the curve a little bit more smooth. Just so we don't have a static sound all the way through. And we can change the LFO shape, how it affects the sound. And I like that, how it's affecting it with the pulse wave of the LFO. So we got ourselves a bass sound. I think it's sounding pretty crispy, pretty good. Let's reorganize our panel. And then we can go ahead and save it. So we're going to go ahead and save our sound. You can save it with however you'd like, whatever name you'd like. Now we're going to go in and we're going to record our patch to our DAW. So I've got Ableton Session open up here, and I'm going to record something in. Oh, let me move that. Something's playing in the background. That's fine. That's a chord progression. You can change that later. Okay, there we go. So let's hit record. This track. And yeah, let's hit record. Okay, so I got something. Hit the metronome. Move the notes a little bit. And just that. Okay, let's make sure we got a loop. Yeah, we got a perfectly good looking loop. I'm going to bring that audio into a DAW. I like to work with the audio waveform. So we're going to resample. Going to bring it back in. So we got double sound. There we go. It's now audio. A very thick waveform. And there we have it. We've created a sound. We've created a bass sound in Ableton using a reactor as a plugin. Just a quick, simple bass sound that we can use and adapt over time. Has some modulation with the LFO through oscillator, and we've got a scope so we can visualize that waveform. And now I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to build a small arrangement with this sound. Feel free to stick around for this section. But if you have to watch the replay as well, that's fine too. So let's repeat. Let's add a little bit of a loop here. Test it out. Gonna bring down the volume, mix it with the drums. I'm gonna add in a compressor to our bass line because I want to sidechain in our track, our drums, so that each time the bass hits, or it should be the opposite. Let me just check. Each time the drum hits, the bass is slightly ducking, which is what we want. You can hear the little ducking happening as the track moves forward. Also adds a little movement. A little bit less compression. Want the release to be kind of quick. This is a long release, which means that it takes longer to actually let go. That means it's shorter compression, shorter release, which means it lets go quicker. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can add some kind of arpeggiator to this bass line. I think it would sound good if it was like a little bit of a punchier bass line. Let's see. Let's see here. Arpeggiator. I might need that. I just saw a sound I might need to layer in. There it was. I just saw it. Let's add that into the bass line. See. Let's see how much we can affect this bass line. I'm going to add in another effect. Let's see. I think I want to add in some shaper box. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's add that to the actual bass we need it to be on. Bass sound. That only works for MIDI. So you'd have to kind of reprint this track. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Add another audio track, and I'm going to reprint this with all our effects. So we got more of a dry version and more of a wet version that we can go back and forth between. Let's do that again. Got something else. Okay, so we got that. We can now mute our main track and just test it out. Let's layer this in the background. Gonna add an EQ because I want to clean up the bottom. Kind of want to make these sounds sound a little more final, not like, oh, we'll clean it up later. Kind of want it to sound like what it's supposed to sound like. So just gonna Okay, I want to add a little bit of layering, a little bit of a, let's say a melodic component. So let's loop that. Take out the drums and actually add some more stuff here. See if we can combine some sounds. See if we can layer something. Oh, I don't want that. Let's see. Okay, I want that sound. I want that, but not that sound. So I'm going to bring down the volume. It's a little loud for me. Let's record that in. Let's try it again. Let's use some quantization. Can move it up a little bit. Let's see. Not that much. A little late right there. A little late again. Oh. All right. Let's try that. Let's try it again. Okay. Just having some technical difficulties. All right, let's do it again. This feels a little bit late. Okay, we can take a break. Let's try it again. Let's do a overdub. little bit of quantization. Okay, I want to layer that sound. Let's do another texture. I don't like that. Nope. Maybe a DX7. Let's bring the volume down on this. Let's print these. So I want to print from both these tracks, but gonna have to do it separately. So just add an audio track for each of these. I want this one coming from track 44, and I want this one coming from track 46. So I'm gonna do one at a time. Let's take off this mode, which is automation arm, and we're going to take off the MIDI arrangement ODub. So we're going to record, actually you can leave that on. Okay, let's check that we got it. Yeah, and then the next piece we need is this. Hit record again, record that right in. Okay, great. Let's check that we got the right piece. I like that, it's really interesting. Oops. Let's match the tracks to their colors. Just for easier recognition. I'm going to take this track, going to move it up, and we can go ahead and minimize these two. Hit play. Okay, before we add in drums, I think we need to add some more melodic interest. Okay. Oops. I was gonna get that part because I thought that was interesting. So let's see here. Okay, one more arp. But not this one. And choose a different arp. I think it goes more with the sound we're trying to go for. So I think something smooth, like a pad. Maybe dreamy and deep, yeah. That's a little much, but let's try another one. I like that. Let's bring that over. So let's add back in our drums. I think we got something that looks like an arrangement that we could possibly use as a starter track. And let's play from the beginning with the drums in. Okay, let's add in our limiter. Just gonna finish off our track. Gonna go into my tools. We're gonna bring in some default presets, devices. Let's see here. Let's get this. We didn't even add the extra layer and we put it back. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So I think that wraps it up for our little mini loop experiment. Just going to go and add a limiter. Maybe some texture. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my last few plugins, just a limiter, and we're going to wrap this up. So I'm going to go into our plugins section or our devices. Bring in our limiter and glue compressor. Okay, so now to add a multiband. Okay, we're going to use our utility. To bring that volume up to a good level. And there we have it. We've got a finished track that we can use in our productions, all from that simple patch that we created with Reactor. We created that bass sound, and we used that to inspire us to make some music. So hopefully you were inspired by the session. Hopefully you learned something about sound design. And if you'd like to dive deeper into sound design concepts and learn more about it, I do offer a full modular deep dive sound design course. Link in the description, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace out.